Statue of Liberty with a state outline and the legend Gateway to Freedom. That was the theme that New York, one of the 5 themes that New York had actually requested for their quarter.
And that was back in '99, right?
1999, yes, but it takes a while. I mean, they have to, the quarters are coming out early in 2001, so it's only literally over a year, just over a year before the coins come out at that point. But anyway, that theme was requested by the state of New York. So, and on that one, I mean, pretty much what I did was arrange the furniture. I mean, they already had the furniture picked out. I just arranged it for them pretty much. But the Rhode Island one was a little bit different in that their description was somewhat more open, or you guess you could say vague, but I like to think of it as more open. What it just said was an ocean vista with a ship or ships. And, I like that quite a bit better because that gives you a lot more,
more room to be creative,
really design something, come up with something, completely new, different. So, I decided to add the Pell suspension bridge in the background just to give it some tie to the land. I didn't want it to be nothing but open water because after all, it's about the state, not the ocean.
Right.
So I put a vintage sailboat on there, and the sailboat was actually the Reliance, which was a racing yacht built in Rhode Island and won the America's Cup races in 1903. So anyway, I submitted those 5 designs just in time, and I ended up winning 2 of them. And I was the only one from outside the Mint that won any of them. And I did get paid for that, an honorarium, but the Mint never released details about who designed those coins.
Really? Okay.
So I did not get any credit whatsoever from the Mint. In fact, my payment for those coins, initially when the 14 outside artists were invited, we were told that. In a letter form, we were instructed that we'll get paid $2,500 for each design that's chosen, if it's actually chosen for the coin. Well, when those 2 designs of mine were used on the state quarters, I never got any word from the Mint regarding this. I called up and I talked to, I think, a manager in the state quarter program one time, and she had, she basically confirmed that 2 of my designs were going to be used on the state quarters. But as far as what I got in written form, I got a envelope in the mail with a $5,000 check in it. No letter, no explanation, nothing. So I got absolutely no credit for the designs, except I did get paid, and I got paid pretty well, I think, for that. And of course, a lot of other artists did a lot of work and didn't win, so they didn't get much out of it.
But your check actually came to the United States Mint, or from?
It was a U.S. Treasury Department check.
U.S. Treasury, okay.
It's like a tax refund check.
Right, exactly. That's interesting.
But no accompanying letter explaining what it was for or anything like that. So that's how that came to be. That's how I ended up getting the state quarters. And
well, on those actual coins, there are, like on the New York quarter, on the lower left-hand side of the New York State outline, there's a little, looks like an AM or AN.
Yes, Al Maletsky. What part of the issue was, I think the enabling legislation for the state quarter program stated that, I'm pretty sure it stated that only the sculptor of the model for the coin gets their initials on the coin. In other words, only the U.S. Mint personnel who make the sculpture get their initials on it. I think they were worried early on that if they put initials of the designer on the coin, then what happens if there's 5 designers contributed to the same design and put 5 initials on it? And I think they just were afraid to acknowledge the designers on these, so they decided not to from the beginning.
Okay,
but it has changed somewhat. But it has changed since I was in doing that. As far as working with the U.S. Mint now, I mean, currently I don't have any avenues for submitting designs to the U.S. Mint anymore. They've changed the program around a little bit. Now they have this thing called the Artistic Infusion Program, or the AIP, which is it's a pool of artists that they invite to submit designs for new coinage, and then those are reviewed, and U.S. Mint personnel also submit designs, and then various committees choose design to actually use. Getting into this pool of artists is, I'm not sure what the criteria are for how they select the people. I've applied a couple times, haven't gotten in on that. So, but I'm not sure of I know the National Endowment for the Arts comes in and evaluates people. I'm somewhat at a disadvantage because I don't have a degree in art from a university.
Right. When you had mentioned earlier that you when you were in college that you did that you were very interested in art. Would that be like illustration or some sort of fine art or
visual arts, painting mostly.
Painting, okay.
Yeah.
What was your degree actually in?
Mechanical engineering.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So sort of a different diversion there.
Gotcha. And I guess the same would hold true for the Rhode Island Quarter. The initials there are the actual. The guy, I guess, is either casting the mold or whatever.
Yeah, Tom Rogers. Yeah, and what they do, how the way the Mint comes up with a design, well, the way they do it now, and the way they've done it in the past, is they will get various people to submit designs in a drawing form. They don't let people submit as a computer rendering. I mean, I wrote my own digital sculpting software, and I've done a lot of computer-aided design, so-called CAD/CAM type work, not only using CAD/CAM systems, but also actually writing the software that makes them run. And I've also done a lot of image processing software, like processing satellite images and medical images and all that. And I kind of combined some of the elements of both into this. It's a virtual relief sculpting program. And I use to sculpt these coinage designs that I do, and I can generate a really nice rendering of what the coin will look like. It's a realistic rendering with I can put different kind of surface finishes on the coin and different metals and all of that, so I can get a nice picture of what the coin looks like. But
your finished product is actually like a 3D image, because I know obviously there are different reliefs in there, or there's different
there's different heights as you go across the surface. That's what I'm sculpting digitally. But I can output a rendering of this, but the thing is that the Mint, as far as the design process works, and they still do it this way, they only will accept black and white drawings, charcoal or pencil or whatever.
Wow. Okay.
And here I've had the software. I can make these really nice renderings that will show you exactly what the final coin will look like. But that's not the way the Mint does it. They do it with the old hand drawings.
Gotcha.
And like when I was accepted in the Sacagawea dollar design contest, they wouldn't let me submit it as one of my nice renderings. I had to go back in and do it as a line drawing by hand, because that's the only way they would accept it.
Once they accept it, though, do they? Because obviously, if you're doing something on charcoal, they're not going. Are they deciding how the depths of the heights are actually?
Well, yes. That's what happens is that the drawings are submitted. They're reviewed by people at the Mint and various committees and whatnot, and then they make a decision. Sometimes they'll request, maybe a revision on the drawing to make a new drawing. Anyway, they get a final drawing that is reviewed and approved by all these committees. Here's one of the problems that the Mint has right now. This drawing is approved, and then it goes away, and no one sees anything again until the coin is actually made, and then the coin comes out and you see it in your hand. But along the way, the problem is that the way they do it is, and this has been an age-old problem with coinage designs, but I've solved this problem. I don't have this problem right now, but the problem is that someone at the Mint has to take this drawing and convert it by hand into a clay relief. And when you're doing this by hand, there's two problems. First of all, it's never going to come out exactly like the drawing. And the second problem is, here you have an artist at the Mint who's sculpting a design that was generated by someone else. You got two different artists working on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't imagine that the artists at the Mint are very happy about having to sculpt these designs that are coming in from this artistic infusion program that they call it. I mean, the artistic infusion program, the artists in there are graphic artists generally. They're very good, but they do not submit the designs in the form of a relief sculpture. They submit